Now, of course, fake car parts are just part of a counterfeit industry in the UAE that's estimated to be worth over $5 billion, shifting revenue away from big brands and into the hands of organized criminals.
Now, that $5 billion figure comes from our next guest, Omar Shtewi, the chairman of the 36-member Brand Owners Protection Group. Now, their stated task is to protect consumers from counterfeit goods and encourage the enforcement of intellectual property rights. He joins us in the studio. Omar, thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
So we just saw with Priyanka's report then the dangers of the counterfeit market when it comes to the auto industry. But of course we see it across many industries, from fashion to medicine as well. How big a problem is it? Is it getting worse, or are authorities getting on top of it?
Thank you, both. I think how big is the problem? The problem is huge. And what we are seeing is the tip of the iceberg. What's sinking below the water is the most dangerous. As you mentioned, it's affecting all categories of the brands. It's not only auto parts or spare parts, but specifically the spare parts. It's dangerous because it causes car accidents. Some of the accidents were proven that the brake pads were pressed wood, therefore it was not it did not catch when they press on the
So what's being done? I mean, obviously it's one thing if we're talking about bags or designer clothing, but when it comes to the car parts, that's, as you mentioned, a huge danger. Things, brake pads might not work.
Yeah.
What's being done in this regard? How are you working with your partners to cut down on this?
Actually, we are not law enforcement authorities. We are brand owners. We established the Brand Owners Protection Group 6 years ago. We started with 5 brand owners. Now we are more than 50 brand owners, and we rely too much, and we want to continue relying on the law enforcement authorities.
How do you work together with them, with the authorities?
Yes, there is laws and regulations, and these law enforcement authorities, they are implementing those laws and regulations. So whenever there is a counterfeited containers coming into Jebel Ali Free Zone, for example, and the brand owner knows that this is fake, they go directly to one of the law enforcement authorities, such as Dubai Customs, in order to detain these containers, to seize them, and to destroy them.
I mean, we're always hearing about these raids. You can see the footage behind us here on the television. This is just one of the major raids they've done, and it's something that's always in the news.
Yes.
Are they doing enough, though?
No.
Okay.
All of us, we agree. Even the law enforcement authorities themselves, they know that they are not doing enough. Why? Because the problem is not them, their problem or our problem. It's a global problem. It's not Dubai problem. It's not UAE problem. China is the #1 source of counterfeited products worldwide. I mean, Dubai has been ranked recently toward the West. It is also the 2nd source of the re-exportation of counterfeited products. So all of us are affected, even brand owners or law enforcement authorities. So back to your question, how do we work? We work in partnership. We strongly believe that public-private partnership need to be more transparent, more strong, and to act together, because all of us are concerned about the problem.
Of course.
Not only the law enforcement authority.
No, absolutely. When it comes to, I guess, the laws in place and the penalties in particular in place, and we just saw in the report that one of the challenges is that the actual monetary penalties in some cases are quite low. Is that something you feel needs to be raised? So
Absolutely.
What do you think would be an appropriate amount that would really deter these vendors?
5-10 years ago, appropriate amount was a good term. Now we should talk about how many years imprisonment.
Okay.
What is the more deterrent penalty? What kind of a product we are talking about? If it's medicine, if it's perfumes, if it's something we eat, we consume, it's really dangerous for the health, for our kids, for our families. Therefore, the penalties should be imprisonment, deportation, destruction of counterfeited products, plus a huge fine as much as possible. And therefore, we always urge and call to appoint a federal authority in the UAE responsible to attack or to tackle the issue of counterfeit.
What about the consumers as well? I mean, I guess we've got to go after the traders, we've got to crack down on them, but what about, even visitors? Earlier we mentioned the fact that, the Karama markets, etc., appear on TripAdvisor. So how do you change that mindset?
This is very important, actually. In some countries, if you walk with your fake bag, they will stop you and they will take the bag, and they might find you in the airport.
Okay.
And I would love to see this in Dubai, especially with the tourists who are coming here, where they know that in Karama there is fake bags, fake branded bags, let's say, or other type of luxury brands.
I mean, you also risk offending a lot of people as well if they're walking along with what could be a nice handbag. Should tourists be targeted as well? Should they be, facing major fines, jail time as well?
Usually, I mean, we want to see this, but should they? I mean, are we calling for this? We urge consumers first not to purchase these counterfeited items.
But we know they do it anyway, so if they purchase it, should they be punished?
This is not regulated, actually. In the law, it is not mentioned. I mean, therefore, in Paris, for example, they can stop you, because it's in Japan also, it is, you have to fill as a tourist, as a passenger, you have to fill a form that I am not carrying counterfeited products. And we always urge Emirates Airlines, Etihad, all the airlines. It's very simple paper, can be implemented by all the passengers, and it will really minimize the problem.
Just very quickly, we're almost out of time. You mentioned the need for a federal authority dedicated to this. Where is that at right now? What are your, I mean, when do you expect this might happen?
We have been calling for federal authorities since long time. Unfortunately, until now, it did not see the light. We hope with the growth economy, with the Dubai 2020, the Expo 2020, we hope that one authority, federal authority, can be dedicated specifically to protect intellectual property and combat counterfeit.
Okay, so we really need to crack down on that, don't we? Omar, thank you for coming in. Really appreciate your time.